Hello and welcome to Total Telecom TV. I'm Brian Dolby and I have with me John Cioffi of Assia. John, you're probably better known as the founding father of DSL. When you came up with, I think it was ADSL to start with, could you have dreamed of how the market would take this on board?
Well, we knew there was a lot of phone lines in the world, and the idea at the time, going back to the early 80s when I first got involved in this, in the late 70s, the idea was to go digital on all of those phone lines. The rest of the network, the switches had all gone digital, so this is the remaining portion. So we hoped that the concepts would expand. We certainly didn't anticipate all the applications and the internet and so forth that have been the dominating driving uses. So we're very happy to see it almost 500 million phone lines today in use.
Yeah, I mean DSL is still very much a fundamental part of the network. Now, tell us about your appearance here at Communicatia. I think it's your debut here.
It is our company's first appearance at Communicatia. We looked at some of the conferences in the region, found this one to be the largest, and had the appropriate customer interests that we would like to try to use to make our company better known within the region. It's a growing area for internet and broadband, and certainly this conference gave us an opportunity to expand our presence and our company's reputation within the Asia-Pac possible customer sphere.
And I think you yourself are giving a presentation in the conference. Tell us about some of the highlights of the points you'll be making.
Yes, I am giving a presentation, and it's really the theme of how can the telecom service providers best exploit their networks to get to 100 megabit per customer internet speeds in a cost-effective manner, using some fiber, some copper, some wireless, and what is the appropriate way to do that best. DSL is a major part of that. Certainly the vectored DSLs that we introduced about 10 years ago have now caught on in the industry and are helping drive that lower cost capability, fiber to within a kilometer, copper the rest of the way, then Wi-Fi distribution for offload. 80% of wireless mobile data today is offloaded to Wi-Fi systems, of course backhauled most likely by a DSL. 75% of the time around the world. So that combination can cost just a few $100s for a service provider in terms of the capital invested to get to 100 megabit services, as opposed to fiber all the way to the customer, which will cost thousands of dollars per customer on average. So that's really the theme, is there is a viable way and a reasonable economic way to grow your networks and to deliver the broadband needs of the future.
I mean, DSL is still very much an unsung hero of the telecoms industry, isn't it?
It hasn't had the sex appeal of fiber or some of the other alternatives over the years, but it continues to be the dominant form of broadband, still continues to gain both on cable and fiber in terms of its percentage. Of course, it dominates in terms of its presence on a global basis. And it's the workhorse, and it exploits the facilities that are already in place, getting the best that we possibly can out of those facilities. From a technical engineering standpoint, it's a tremendous challenge for those who are involved to do it well and to do it correctly. But from an industry standpoint, it looks like the old stuff as opposed to some more appealing fiber everywhere, but that's just not financially viable for the service providers, and particularly not today in terms of the investment it would require.
Now, you were saying that Asia is very much an important target market for the company. Give us a bit of background to the development of Assia as a whole.
Well, Assia started with the U.S. markets. We have 90% of the DSLs in the United States are managed by Assia. All the major carriers in the United States have purchased our products. We have about 60-70% penetration in Latin America, about a 30% penetration in Europe, but that's growing. We've recently entered the markets in Asia. We have a significant presence in China, and just had our first customer about a year ago in the Asia-Pac region. It was an incumbent in Thailand, purchased the product. We have about a handful of other customers who are seriously talking to us in the region, so we expect to see our business grow in this region, and we're preparing ourselves to try to address that, and by being present here at Communicatia, it helps further that objective.
Okay, John, well, thanks very much for talking to us, and every success in Asia going forward.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Also, Brian.